Welcome to Uncontained episode 126. I'm your host, Aaron Static Render. And if you haven't been to uncontainedpod.com in a while, check it out. There's links to all my social media there, along with links to show notes from the current and previous episodes of Uncontained. This week I speak with Sélynne Silver. She's an actress and a model, and she's from France, but she's been here in the U.S. for a while and doing some big things. We talk about the projects she has going on, along with some pitfalls a lot of aspiring actors get tripped up by. And she also shares the defining moment when she realized that she was born to shine. Listen up, it's actress model Sélynne Silver on Uncontained. How are you doing today, Sélynne?
Hey Aaron, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to Uncontained.
Thank you.
So, I was looking online, and it looks like you are a pretty busy lady, all right? You got a few things in the works, and that's definitely a good thing as an actress.
Sure.
You got, like, a couple features coming up, a few shorts and stuff, which we will definitely get into that in a little bit and talk a little bit more in depth about that. But you originally are not from LA like most of the people there. Where are you from?
I am from Paris in France. France.
So, au Paris. Paris?
Paris, exactly.
So Paris, France. And
Correct.
so how long ago did you move over to the United States?
So I came to America in December 2011.
Okay, 2011. And
Yeah,
I was looking on your website, and it looks like you started out going to a performing arts college.
True.
And then somehow you made the jump to the medical industry?
Yeah. Okay. So let me talk about that. Well, first of all, parents, they always want you to do a certain thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the high school diploma that I got was in economic and science. But when I finished my high school, I decided to go for the university to study performing arts at the university. So I did actually 1 year, but oh my gosh, that was not what I was expecting at all. I thought that I would act, but no, it was just the history, of the cinema.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't performing arts school in the way that you're performing. All right. I was wondering if how you made the jump from performing arts to medicine was be like, one day I got a role as a doctor and I kind of liked it. I really wanted to know what it was like to cut into people. And so I just went to medical school after that.
Well, actually, this is not medical school, but I believe my parents would have loved that. I mean, at least my mother for sure. But no, it was insurance. Insurance. I studied insurance for some time. Yeah.
Okay. So you were doing that, and what was it that made you decide, okay, I've had enough of this insurance stuff. I really want to get back to pursuing the actual performing aspect of the arts.
Right. So you might find that funny and weird, but I'll be honest with you. I think it was 2009. I woke up in the morning and I was like, I am born to shine. And then, I swear to God, it was like that. And then I started to go online and looking for casting calls, and then I took acting classes at a real school,
Yeah.
And I started to do that, but I was still working in the insurance at the same time,
Okay, all right. So how long did you take classes before you actually got into doing your first acting job?
Actually, I think right away. But to be honest with you, I didn't really know how to find acting jobs in France.
Okay.
I was on this casting website, but like, I don't know, it didn't seem like I was getting much things. I got a few things here and there, but I think I haven't done many speaking roles. I've done just like 2 or 3 or 4 or something, but that's about it. Like, I really don't know where to look. And I remember I tried to find an agent when I was there. So I called many agencies, and they were all like, oh no, we're not taking any more people. So yeah, like I had no way of knowing where to find stuff, you know.
Okay. So, like, on your website, it says you eventually got national exposure
Right.
in France. Or what was the journey that you took to get there?
So actually, so there is 2 things that were national that I did. One thing was a TV show where I pranked my parents in it.
Oh, really?
So my parents are part. Yeah, so my parents are part of the thing too. So it was called. Okay, mes parents vont t'adorer. My parents are going to adore you, and actually it was a person that my parents would hate. You know, that will not. Yeah.
Was it like a dating like prank show then?
That wasn't really dating, but that we were supposed to make my parents believe that we were dating. So this other person was a celebrity, but that my parents didn't like at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got cast in that, and so yeah, this like was on TV. Like it went on TV like many times. Like many people saw me in it. So that was really cool. That was improv. Like I had like even like a whatever.
Little in-ear monitor.
Exactly. So the director was telling me sometimes to say some stuff or like to react a certain way. So it was acting but it was improv mostly.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, that was really cool actually to do it.
And improv takes a lot of talent too. You can't, like, some people are like, oh, that's just talking, you know, but you know, you actually have to be able to think on your feet very well, you know.
Yeah, that's for sure, especially since it wasn't even rehearsed or whatever, and I didn't know how my parents would react to the whole thing. But it went well. And the other thing that I did, this was in 2011. So since 2011, actually, I am one of the face of a campaign called Intertwined, which is this is for the condition of the woman in the world, and that is with a TV channel called TV5 Monde. So yeah, I'm one of the face of this campaign.
Okay, what is the campaign called again?
Intertwined.
Okay, all right. So it was in French. I didn't just misunderstand it. All right.
No,
so
French.
Okay, wanted to just make sure I wasn't like, okay, all right. Yeah, I didn't want to just nod my head along and not really like, yeah, I get it. So, yeah, as I told you earlier, the only thing I know in French is le petit déjeuner. So I know how to say breakfast or like, you know, that's...
At least you know something. That's good.
Exactly. When I was in France, I tried to walk around with, I had some key phrases on my phone so I at least didn't look like the typical American. Like, hey, he's trying, we'll give him some sympathy. And then after I struggled enough mispronouncing and slaughtering your language, people were like, okay, yeah, I'll help this guy out. He needs all the help he can get.
Oh, wow. Well, at least they were nice to you, I guess. That's good.
Yeah, you know what? I actually did not run into any of the stereotypical vision of the French people out here is like, you
guys.
Like, oh, they won't even talk to you unless you try to speak French. But
Right.
I'm sure there's some people like that there, just like there's some jackasses here, you know?
Sure.
But for the most part, everybody was really cool that I ran into, and France actually kind of impressed me that way. So,
Nice. Did they speak with you in English or in, how was that?
They realized I had no idea how to speak French, so they spoke to me in English. So,
Okay, cool.
But but we'll move on. Enough about me. So now you did the TV show. How did your parents react to that?
Oh my gosh. So I remember the last sequence of the thing was me announcing to my parents that I was pregnant. And oh my gosh, my mother, I saw her face like she was like in disbelief. And that was so funny. But then, yeah, of course, it was like, no, that is fake, blah blah blah. And I mean, I'm so grateful my parents like accepted for it to be released, because at the end they have to sign a release form and everything, and they were okay with it. Yeah, they were okay with. They could have said no, My father was really like very calm. For him, like he laughed the whole time, but my mother, she wasn't laughing at all.
After something like that, you'd almost think they'd be like, okay, yes, as long as that's not true, I'll sign anything.
Right,
So
right.
And I'm sorry for jumping around a little bit before I went off on the whole not speaking French thing. You were talking about the campaign that you were doing. What is that campaign about? Like, what is the campaign pushing?
So this is the right of the right and the condition of the woman in the world. So yes, I was with a few other girls, and like we are like, for example, sometimes they have like how to say that, not exposition, but like they have booth in some places, and there is our face right there behind the other people. And for some reason, a friend of mine saw me last year, and I was like, wow, I did that back in 2011, and she saw me like right now. Like I felt so proud,
Okay, cool. So there was like a banner in back of the booth that you were on?
Stuff like that, banners, and then so the TV channel is called TV5 Monde. So sometimes when they interview some people, we are like there is like like you said, like a little like banner or something with our face on it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, and they're still using that since 2011?
Yeah, so every 2 years actually they just had me sign a new contract like right now. For another 2 years. Like it seems like every 2 years, we can renew our rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so that sounds like a very an important campaign, like something that you could get behind. So let's go ahead and fast forward just a little bit to you coming to the United States and starting from scratch in LA and Hollywood. So what was that transition like for you?
So I didn't come right away to Los Angeles. First of all, I was in Orlando for a little bit. And then I came here in August 2012.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, like I came here in vacation in 2010 with my brother, and like I always knew in my head that one day I will go, to America and try to pursue my dream,
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, and I remember saying that to my parents when I came back from vacation. I said, hey, one day I'm going to go and live there. And my parents don't believe me, but I'm Sagittarius, and we always do what we say we will.
Okay.
Yeah, so this happened, and I did that, and yeah, here I am right now.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
And obviously working, as I hinted a little bit earlier, you have some big things going on right now. And some of them are features, some of them are shorts, correct?
Correct, yes. And there is eventually a TV show too, but I'm not really sure about it right now because, of the budget. I don't really know.
Okay, yeah, that's the one that's in the developmental stage right now,
correct?
Okay.
Yes.
And what was the name of that one again, or do you remember at the top of your head?
Yeah, he just sent an email saying that he wanted to change it because there is another show with that same name, so I'm not sure what it is.
Okay,
anymore.
so I just looked it up on IMDb, so it's Space Trails, Life on Mars.
The writers wanted to change it because there is already like a show called Life on Mars or something like that.
Okay.
So he wanted to change it. They're not sure yet what they want to change it in, but yeah.
All right, so let's talk about something that is going to happen then. Enough about Space Trails, Life on Mars. We'll talk about that when that comes out, if you want to come back on and talk about something.
Sure.
So let's talk about, looks like you have something called Sprawl and Toll House Horrors.
Yes. So Sprawl, so Sprawl is a short film that has been actually they started to film about 2 years ago already.
Okay.
This. I wasn't part of it 2 years ago, but recently this year I saw a post. They were looking for a French person to be a chief, sort of a CIA type of thing.
Okay.
And I submitted, and then I met with the director, who is the writer, and he liked me, he liked my reels and everything, and so he cast me as Chief Anna.
Okay, you definitely fit the description of a French person, so
Yeah.
you got that down. All right, cool. So is this where can people see this? Is it out now, or is it?
No, because I just shot it recently. At least I shot my part just recently, and they're not done yet. And actually, the day when I was shooting, the director came up to me and said, I actually want to do a feature film of this, not just a short film. So it's going to be extended with me in it more than what I was. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's a good thing. It's a good sign that he actually told you that instead of being like keeping it secret. Be like, we're gonna make a feature out of this, but let's not tell her.
Right. Right.
All right. Yeah. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Sure, and he said there will be more scenes for me, so in French, so that's great, you know. So yeah.
Nice. And apparently, just today, you found out that you are going to be in another movie.
Yes. So not just today, just last night at 12:30. At 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't today. I lied. I'm sorry. But I just found out today. So.
Right. So yeah. So actually, 2 days ago, I saw this post on IMDb, and so they were looking for actors, you know. So I submitted, and so the director saw my reel, and so he wrote me back, and we started talking, and so then he sent me the sites to record, and I did that last Sunday, and yesterday he told me, hey, well, you got a part in the movie. So that's pretty exciting.
All right, very cool. It's good to hear things are happening for you out here. Along with one other thing that we haven't talked about yet, I was kind of saving the biggest one for last right now. It's a feature film that you're in, and it's kind of unique in a way because you were telling me it's made up of 3 shorts to make up that whole feature.
Correct.
It's titled Waithood, correct?
Yes, that is correct. So I met with the director last year. He explained me all that stuff. So actually that's a bit strange.
Okay.
For me. I mean, I've never been in this type of movie. So actually it's strange in a good way. So in each short film, I am the lead, but I'm playing a different character.
Ah.
Yes. So each short film is a different story, but stories that are related to each other, though. Like for example, in one short film, I talk about a certain person, and I will be this certain person in the second part, and stuff like that.
Okay, so they're all intertwined somehow.
Correct.
So one show you're talking about somebody else, and the other one you are that person that you're talking about?
Exactly, yeah, stuff like that, yes.
Now, did you shoot all these separately, or were you bouncing back and forth between characters?
No, so for now, we just shot the first one, and we just finished actually because we had like one scene of voiceover, we just finished that last week. So now they're like doing the post-production for this one, and then we're going to start the second one. They said they wanted to start in August.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And another question about the 3 shorts equaling a feature. Are they all going to be released at the same time, or are they released staggered?
So it seems like it's going to be an entire feature film. So it's going to be one piece at the end.
Okay.
But I was talking with the director recently, and he told me that it feels like the short that we did right now is more like it's more like a short on itself, and you might want to do another story to add, but this one will be just a short film, and the rest will be the feature film.
Okay, all right. That's the beauty of things. They can always like adapt and evolve and change and stuff like
Right.
that.
Really true.
So you've made your way from performance school, like a performing arts college that wasn't really performing arts, to insurance, to a prank show with your parents.
Yeah.
All right, that you almost gave your poor mom a heart attack.
Yes, exactly.
Then you made your way over to the United States and eventually made it to LA, Hollywood, California. What advice do you have for people who are looking to make that jump, whether they're over in France, another country, or maybe just looking to break into the acting business? What advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, for the people that are outside of the US, good luck, because you gotta get a visa and stuff like that in order to come to America. That's not easy. And to get a work permit and all that stuff, that is really hard.
Yeah.
So this is what I would say. But now, just in general, I would say, first of all, you gotta try, because you don't want to have regrets, right? And you gotta keep pushing all the time and not just persevere, not give up, because I've been told so many times that so many people come here, not just from America, but from around the world, come to Los Angeles to pursue their dreams. And after maybe like a year or something, they realize that it's not working out. So they just go back to where they're from. Or like, for example, I met so many people that are American. They came here to LA to pursue their dreams. And the lifestyle is expensive out here. So they get a job and then they just do their jobs and that's it. They don't even pursue no more their career.
Yes.
I mean, for me, yeah. So I met those people and in my head I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, you can wait table where you're from. Like, why do you come to Los Angeles? I mean, I'm not talking about waiting table, but like other stuff, other jobs that just take too much of your time and you don't have time to do anything. I mean, those people came here with a dream, but then they end up just doing the jobs that they can do wherever, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's crazy. And I feel like sometimes there is some people that I meet, like they want it as much as I want it. I mean, I feel like I got a lot of, how to say that, obstacle along the way. And I'm still here and I'm still pursuing what I came for, you know, like I haven't given up. And so I don't understand when an American tell me that they have to pay bills and they cannot do this. So now they're just working and that's it. And they're pushing their dreams away. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I totally understand what you're saying. Like, I have a regular job, but I'm still making time to try to do what I want to on the side, you know, and eventually
What do you want to do on the side? What is it?
Well, part of it is this podcast. All right. I worked in radio for 7 years before I moved out here to California. And then I ended up getting a regular job while I was out here and started this up on the side because one of my goals is to get involved in, say, voiceover work. Also, I've done stand-up comedy, which I'd like to kind of get back into and do stuff there. But right now, I've been focusing on this podcast to try to get it up and running. So those are some of my goals here. What is it that kept you from falling into that trap of being a professional table waiter?
I'm not allowed to do anything than acting in America. So I'm here. I got a work permit to work in acting. You cannot do that.
Okay, well then I guess it's no other choice but to succeed right there, huh?
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, fair enough. Now that's interesting, and that's good advice to avoid that trap though when you're especially people who are
Mhm,
U.S. citizens. Let's switch the mode a little bit.
mhm.
What are you doing to promote yourself currently?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not too good at promoting myself.
It's all right.
Yeah, but I mean, I use like everyone Facebook and Instagram. Maybe I should go back on Twitter as well. But yeah, look, I use Instagram a lot actually. Like, to be honest with you, like last month I got 31 requests to audition.
Oh wow, from Instagram or?
No, not from Instagram, but like from like different sources.
Okay.
Yeah, but like every day, like usually every time that I film myself, every time that I'm doing a self tape or something like that, like I post a picture of myself on my Instagram, um, saying, "Ah, today, new day, new audition." Like I just shot a new self tape earlier, and I'm going when we're done talking, I'm going to post a new picture of me doing my self tapes earlier
Okay.
because lately it's been happening every day. So yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. So just staying active on Instagram and other social media has helped get you a lot of exposure.
I don't know if this is a lot of exposure, but I mean that's some kind of exposure right
Well, it's
there.
definitely getting you some exposure to the right people. So that's one of the main things right there. Now,
Right.
what would be a highlight or two that you would care to share with the uncontained audience? Not necessarily the highlight of your career, but like say if you're hanging out with some friends and you're sharing stories and you're like, oh, this one time when I did this happened and that happened and like just that. I'm not necessarily asking for like your this is my all-time highlight type thing.
Oh my gosh, that's a tough question. Oh wow. I don't know, like I'm always grateful for all the work that I get, like rest this is not even part of my highlights, but recently I went to a seminar, and one of the casting director was like, for one role there is like 1,000 of submission. So if you already get an audition, you should be super grateful for it, because we are so many out there, And
Yeah.
like for example, knowing that last month I got 31 requests to audition, and this month I already like got, today we are, which day? We're the 6th. I already like got 10 different auditions. So I don't know what's going on with the universe and myself, but like I'm getting a lot of auditions. And to be honest with you, people say to not focus on the outcome, but if I get that many auditions, of course I want to book them,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel sad when I don't, but I know that it cannot always be that way, unfortunately. But yeah, but I don't know. It seems like there is something in the universe, and God wants me to book something or be seen by millions of people or something, because I'm getting all of those. So yeah, that's
All right, perfect. That works right there. So, all right. So when somebody comes and sees you on stage or sees a film that you did or even some modeling work or hosting work that you've done, is there a certain feeling that you want them to take away, or what do you want them to take away from your performance?
So, well, I mean, I love when they, like, for example, recently we had a screening of a short film that I was lead in. And at the end, a lot of people came to me and they were like, wow, you're such a great actress. And like, it felt good to hear that, I mean, I feel like I'm working hard towards my dream, and it feels good to hear other people to say that to you. But I can tell you that I'm very critical of myself. Like, I'm I think I'm one of the hardest person of my. I mean, I think we all are like this, you know. Like when we watch ourselves or when we hear ourselves, we're like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. But then you hear other people, that's amazing. So you feel good, you know. Like for example, this short film that I got cast in like yesterday. Before I even auditioned, the director wrote me that even though I don't get a part in this short film, it will get me a part in something else in the future because he really liked my reels. This is what he told me.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, yeah. So I felt very good about it. And a year ago too, another director wrote me the same thing for a lead in the feature film. He wrote me the same thing. He said, "Hey, if you don't get cast, then I will remember you for another thing because you're very special." And like that feels really good to hear stuff like that because.
So, yeah, it's not always bad to be critical of yourself. You can always make that makes you, you know, better in the long run. But yeah, so that's great advice and you know, a great thing for people to take away as well. That like not the part where you're saying you're your worst critic, but your directors and producers of shows being like, I really think you're special and I like to see you in an upcoming feature even if you don't get this part. So that right there is very cool. And I would really like to thank you for joining me today. I have one final question for you.
Sure.
All right, but before we get to that question, people listening probably want to know where you are on the internet, where they can find your posts on Instagram, where, you know, so where is your corner of the internet?
My corner in the internet. Wow, I've never heard that before.
You've never heard that before? It's like, no. Okay, what? where can people find you online?
Okay, so they can find me on my website, via my website, which is SélynneSilver.com, or they can find me on Instagram or Facebook with Sélynne Silver.
All right, SélynneSilver.com, Facebook and Instagram at Sélynne Silver, and I will have all of that in the show notes for you guys. So if you missed that, you can just check those out at uncontainedpod.com and click on the show notes tab, and it'll bring you right to it. So with that being said, I have the final question of the show. It is the title question of the show. Sélynne Silver, how do you live uncontained?
Well, you know, you gotta keep going. You cannot give up. Like, I'm not a person who gives up. And like some of my acting teachers said, at the end, quite a few people are going along the way, quite a few people are going to give up, but there will be one person that is going to stay, and this is this person that is going to make it, because everybody would have given up, right? Yeah. So you just got to be this person, and that's it. You got to keep going, even though this is hard. Unfortunately, acting is not easy. If it was, everybody will be doing it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So I know that I remember when I first started to say to my coworker and friends that I will do some acting, they all laughed. But then when I started to do some stuff, they were like, "Oh no, we always pushed you up. We knew you were going to do some stuff." Yes, right. So like, you know, if you cannot live with just by listening to what other people have to say that are bad or against what you want to do, because I mean, I hear that, you know, every day, like, "Oh yeah, you're not going to make it," and stuff like that. Like, you gotta go past that, and you gotta just keep working hard and stay focused and have your goal in your mind. And really important to write them down. I need to do that myself. I didn't do it yet, but it's really important to write it down.
Write your goals down, or what?
To write down like your goals.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is not just regarding acting. This is regarding your life in general. I remember reading once that people that are successful are the people that have like a clear vision of what they're going to do and how they're going to achieve it. So yeah, I think we all need to do that because we're going to get nowhere if we don't have like a clear vision or of what to do.
And you had that clear vision saying you were born to shine.
Exactly.
So you knew it from way back then after a couple of years of selling life insurance. You're like, screw this. I'm born to shine.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the big screen.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something too. When the first time I landed in Orlando, not the first time, the day after I landed in Orlando, which was my first day in America, I went to this Chinese place, Chinese place, and I got a fortune cookie, and it was, fame is in your future. And I was like, wow.
That's
I just
awesome.
arrived here, right? So that's a sign, So I still have it somewhere in my house. But I was like, wow, God is trying to speak to me and do something or show me my future or something. But yeah, you gotta work hard to get there.
That's awesome. I normally just get like statement cookies. Like I literally had one that said, "You love Chinese food." And I was like, wow, you really went on a limb there, but yeah, I do. I do kind of like it, and it is pretty good. But yeah, but that's really cool. A very fitting fortune cookie fortune for you, and yes, that's a good way to start out the journey, right?
Definitely, it is.
All right, perfect. So I have one final thing for you to do, Sélynne. And I have all my guests do this. It is sign off the show.
Sure.
Will you do me the honor of signing off the show for me tonight?
Sure, let's do that. I am Sélynne Silver, and I live uncontained.
And that does it for another episode of Uncontained. Thank you for listening, and thank you to Sélynne Silver for joining me and sharing her story right here on Uncontained. And please make sure you get to uncontainedpod.com and click the show notes tab at the top of the page. You'll be able to get access to current shows and past show notes, and also get the contact information for Sélynne Silver. You can hit her up on Facebook, let her know you heard here on Uncontained. And once again, thank you for listening, and until next time, live uncontained.